I'm very surprised no one died, to be honest with you.
Yes, we were being denied water. I don't know why that's so hard for people to believe. And there were people who were like, all right, this is not quite right, but so far I'm good. And a lot of those people went all the way until they got sent to the hospital. They don't want to admit to themselves that they were thoroughly abused.
It was like 14, 15 hours that day where I never ate once.
I did indeed witness one of the seizures. I've seen seizures before, but this guy looked like he was losing oxygen. His face was turning blue.
You don't expect people to not get their insulin in time, and that could actually kill someone. They made us wear garbage bags over our Beast Game shirts. It was very hot. There's already people fading consciousness.
This show is going to blow your mind. You're gonna have a great time. The show's awesome.
So I just arrived in Vegas after flying all the way across the country, and I didn't receive my Uber email, so... The things they make me do.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends, you believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Let's look at your folders. That's a lot of horny little kids.
I don't think she's 14. They're too big to be 14. Seriously, fuck the fans. I don't care about you. Half my comments are usually like, I like how Beast doesn't make up horse shit and just says he does it for the money. I know if I talk loud and act energetic, people will watch longer. Because people are drawn to happy, annoying YouTubers for some reason. And like, no one likes YouTubers like that. But it's okay. I can do it. For the donations.
So you may have already seen a few videos of contestants talking positively about their experience on Beast Games. What you need to understand is that we were sent this document explicitly telling us that we were not allowed to post anything about the show unless it was approved by them first. It even gave us specific guidelines. One of the things that they recommended to us was to make positive behind-the-scenes content for them. Basically make propaganda about how they treated us well. And a lot of these contestants want to be invited back onto season 2. When they got eliminated, Jimmy would say to them, hey, we might bring you back for a second season. They did that with me! So a lot of them want to be on his good graces, which is why they're willing to play along. And remember that if you post unapproved content, you could potentially owe them $500,000. I've had many other contestants reach out to me, including one who said that they had confessions that would land some of Jimmy's crew in jail. But these people are just afraid of getting sued, and honestly, I don't blame them. So basically, what you need to understand is that Mr. Beast is in total panic mode right now. Basically, he's desperate for people to disprove the allegations against him. So I came up with a little test. I gave him some bait. And he took it hook, line, and sinker. Let me explain. In one of the group chats I'm in, I suggested that we create a document with contestant names and social media. Everybody loves my idea, and they start creating several documents. Nicholas Diorio reveals that he got a text message from Mr. Beast himself.
I got this from the deep state. I got this from Jimmy.
And you'll never guess what he texted him.
Full disclaimer, Jimmy texted me. Dude, Jimmy sent me the Rose Mulet files.
So just so you know, I'm gonna make a lot of very damning allegations in this video. And whenever Mr. Beast responds, he has to acknowledge the fact that he sent a document promoting me as an example that there were contestants who had positive experiences on his show.
It's Rose Mulet!
So he kind of really screwed himself up. Like, it's actually crazy that he's out here sending drama channels Beast-affiliated content, trying to prove his innocence, while simultaneously threatening anybody who doesn't speak positively about the show with a lawsuit. Also, the Beast team is going out of their way to try to influence public perception in really sketchy ways. Oopaville did a video recently allowing Beast Game contestants to speak up for the first time. You see, the thing is, one of the contestants he interviewed is literally a Beast employee.
I'm a creative producer. I specialize in larger-than-life projects with some of the world's top YouTubers.
Here's him sending text messages to another employee about Rosanna Pansino. Here's him saying that he wants anybody speaking out against the show to be blacklisted from any future reality TV show opportunities. Yeah, a lovely unbiased source from a random contestant there. Wow, you worked for him in 2023? And he personally called you to offer you a job? He remembered your name? And talked about how crazy it was you kept showing up in his life? It's almost like the Beast team specifically told you who to interview, but I mean, you know, that's just pure speculation, right? There's obviously no proof. It's not like I have screenshots of a contestant that you interviewed telling everybody in a group chat that they were chosen by the Beast team. I have those screenshots. And the team gave you the approval? Let me guess, is it Oompaville? Huh, producers sent him to you? That's odd. Yeah, one of the producers sent him my way. Good luck, remember to lie as much as possible. Yeah, I didn't say anything bad about the Beast games. I made the producers look really good, but like I had to bullshit a little bit. By the way, I sent him these screenshots and the dude is still in the video. And when you look at everybody else in this video, you can tell that the Beast team chose these contestants. This Beth lady, she was in previous Mr. Beast videos before Beast Games. Mia won $1.8 million. Maybe the person who won an island is just maybe a little biased towards the show, you know? And then we have Jimmy, who he's 42, a very prominent previous Mr. Beast contestant. Now, of course, there are contestants who are defending Mr. Beast. And what's funny is that a lot of them are saying that anyone talking badly about the show is just bitter that they lost. But then a lot of them, when they get out, start calling foul. For instance, there's a group that calls themselves the Beastlings. So this is the challenge where they self-sacrificed. Many hours before the challenge started, they flashed on the screen the rules. And some contestants got an unfair advantage by seeing that. So the contestants literally refused to leave because they thought that they were unfairly eliminated. And the Beast Game team just told them to be quiet about the whole thing. And of course, they weren't gonna refilm that because they've already spent a bunch of money on the show. So they basically were like, all right, keep quiet about this and we'll give you priority to return for future opportunities. Basically, people don't want to speak because they want to be invited back. There was a challenge in Beast Games where 4 teams had to pick captains who they thought would decline a large amount of money.
Pick a captain to represent your team. I am going to offer that captain massive bribes for eliminating their team.
And this resulted in one of the biggest moments in the whole show. What you need to understand is that everybody watching Beast Games was shocked when nobody took the money.
500 grand! What is going on?
But it starts to make a little more sense when you kind of look into who these people are. What if I told you that they didn't take the money because they were already filthy rich, and that's why they were chosen? For instance, Tawana Barnett.
Tawana, she's a pro wrestler. She had a mission to kind of clear her husband's name. Her husband was supposed to be a part of the games, but he could not get into the country, so he could not continue.
Want to take a wild guess as to who her husband is? You will never guess this. It's the freaking bounty hunter guy from the Stokes Twins video. The dude has also appeared in many TV shows and movies. Point is, these people do not need $5 million. Also, Dino, lovable guy, right?
You guys mean more to me than that screen.
Well, let me just play the clip.
Dino is a retired firefighter. He's worked with A-list actors. He's worked with celebrities. He has a decent amount of money saved up, enough to where $1 million is not life-changing for him.
Also, Jeremy is a previous Mr. Beast contestant.
We're gonna be giving you $20,000. That they split just like the $1 million over everyone?
Exactly.
They gave you guys $1,240,000 in total.
Played these games before!
In total, that is a year's salary worth of money that he has won from previous videos. And he constantly posts pictures with polar bears and just beautiful scenic nature. I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think he needs the money.
The sole provider for my family. There's 6 of us.
So that just leaves Harrison. But you know, I'm glad, because at least Harrison is a genuine guy.
I'm Harrison, the homeless veteran from Beast Games.
He's homeless. Oh, that's 4 out of 4! Sorry, you don't get to claim to be homeless when your car that you live in costs 6 figures and you constantly brag about how cool it is.
I finally bought my dream house on wheels. I'm preparing myself right now to drive to Argentina over the next 2 years, and I'm looking forward to the adventure that holds, and I just want to tell the best life story possible.
Like, they sold it as this amazing TV moment.
Are you guys chronically insane? They're delusional. I don't think these are real humans.
But everybody literally just decided to pick the rich people. I mean, which makes sense when you think about it. I don't want to be eliminated. Who do I know is not going to take the $1 million? We don't need your money, money, money. Hey, wait a second. Why is Jeremy in the Soggy video? Damn, it's Almost like the Beast team specifically sent him your way because they knew that he would only speak positively about them. It's almost like the Soggy video and the Oompa interview happening in November was suspiciously part of a large PR campaign in order to ensure that all the allegations are cleared just in time for Beast Games. Creating an environment where, all of our NDAs have just expired, but everybody is so tired of the allegations, and hasn't Jimmy been smeared enough? I understand that going into this video, a lot of people are going to be skeptical because a lot of people believe the image that Jimmy has sold to the world. So before I start talking about the numerous instances of people almost dying on his show and how he tried to downplay that and lie to everybody, I need you to understand that everything about this man is a lie. Now, of course, I want to be very careful how I talk about this. You see, I'm very intentionally using clips from videos that Mr. Beast himself deleted because that way he can't claim that I'm lying because it's going to be very hard for him to debunk something that he publicly said on camera. The pure amount of clips that I've seen of Mr. Beast openly and blatantly saying, I only ever do this for money, it's shocking.
TBH, I only did YouTube for money. Ain't that the truth? I'm a YouTuber because I want to make a lot of money. I mean, why else would I be a YouTuber? I started YouTube because I wanted to entertain people and then build because I wanted to make money. I want you guys to spam comments like, Beast, stop cursing, think of your wallet, so I can get better ads and make more money.
I do recall fuck the fans and doing it for the money, so I mean from the
I've said
mouth.
that in many videos. I don't care about that.
Yeah. I feel like you
seriously fuck the fans. I don't care about you. I give the first comment on every video a free gift card. Make sure you turn on notifications because you never know, you might win free money next time. I'm definitely not using this as a way to get thousands of people to turn on notifications and help grow my channel. Totally not. I'm doing it because I love giving back to the fans. I'm doing a giveaway.
I'm giving away these 1,000 iPhones to random people that subscribe.
And I already know a lot of you guys are going to bring up my video where I said I hate giveaways because I do hate giveaways. I think only terrible YouTubers do them. But I hate the fact that I don't have a lot of Twitter followers more than the fact that I hate giveaways.
If you want an iPhone, press the subscribe button down below for a chance to win one.
No one follows me on Twitter, so I have to become a scumbag to get Twitter followers.
Publicly, he makes a big show about helping people walk, while privately hiring lobbyists to represent big healthcare companies who are the ones denying them that coverage in the first place. Honestly, I can see why he wants to be a politician. Since Mr. Beast is so insistent on using his charity as a shield,
despite the controversy, central to Mr. Beast's brand is philanthropy.
Why don't we go back and look at the very first time that Mr. Beast ever gave away money on camera?
But when you first started giving away $5,000 or $10,000,
It first started with the $100. The first real IRL one, I would order a pizza and I'd tip $100.
What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing dares and answering questions. I don't sound that energetic. What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing dares and questions. Why are YouTubers so loud? I dare you to tip pizza delivery guys $100. Okay, so it said he left the store. I'm just going to leave the camera sitting here.
I'll tell you what, your heart's in the right place.
So there you heard it from Mr. Beast himself. This was the very first time he ever gave money away, and he only did it because a random commenter told him to do it for a dare video series that he was doing. He recorded these people without their consent, and they thought he was nice because they didn't know he was filming them and exploiting them for content. That is how the channel started. There's a reason he took it off his channel, because it destroys the narrative he's been working so hard to build. I mean, watching videos like that, you start to think about the real people behind all of this. Some of the things that Mr. Beast does for views are very weird, but he tries to hide this by showing you flashy edits and dramatic background music.
I went through the tearing of the flesh every 30 minutes for 32.5 hours. And I asked him if he wanted to see the scars. He didn't want to see the scars. He was like, oh, thank you for the offer, but no thanks. Haha, thank you for being part of the video.
We don't like torturing people. Well, I mean, I do like torturing people, but not that much torturing people.
It's only when you look back at the start of his channel that you start to realize how weird it really is.
What are you doing? Well, I read online that drinking Windex is actually good for you. So
Jimmy, don't!
It was just a prank.
Jimmy, that's not a funny prank. Look how red my face is. That's not a funny prank, Jimmy.
Hey, do you know why this doesn't have a thumbnail on it?
It doesn't have a what?
A thumbnail. Like, the video doesn't have a thumbnail.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, the video, it doesn't have a thumbnail. Like, yeah. The video.
Get out of here, dude.
But I'm just wondering why the video doesn't have a thumbnail on it.
Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's no thumbnail on it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Also, Mr. Beast terrorizes the people that are unfortunate enough to live near where he shoots his videos. It is not an uncommon occurrence for there to just be a random explosion with residents having no clue that it's even happening. Oh look, Greenville, North Carolina's Instagram posted a public safety notice warning about explosions. Nice to get a notice this time. Oh, so you're saying that there were other times where you didn't get notified.
This is an image of the aftermath of an explosion by Greenville-based YouTuber, Mr. Beast.
I was in the shower and I heard this like huge bang, and immediately my first thought is, oh my god, someone's trying to break into my house. People like probably have PTSD and stuff too from like loud explosions.
The power of the scheduled blast was not relayed to them.
The magnitude of the explosion that took place was maybe not what we were expecting, yes.
Many took to social media and neighborhood apps about the explosions, trying to get answers.
I was kind of shocked. I didn't know what it was, but the whole house was shaking.
I mean, can you imagine? Your house is literally shaking. You think that you're dealing with an intruder, and it turns out that this is all a Mr. Beast video. Honestly, Jake Paul got so much shit for doing less. One of the neighbors even said, "So wrong. People are truly scared. My husband called 911 and they confirmed it was Beast. Couldn't even get through to the non-emergency line. They are going to cost someone their lives." Trust me when I say safety issues have been an issue at the company for a long time. Anybody remember the Olympic video? That was a big news story. And then the video came out and people just kind of forgot. There was even a point early on in the company where Ava Chris Tyson shot a gun inches away from an employee's face.
I had never been around guns, but when we got to set, everyone was given ear protection, and I don't know if this was an intentional prank or what. It must have been 24 inches from my head. Ava shot an AK, just like 1 or 2 bullets, and it was like a funny joke to everybody. This was terrifying for me, so I was like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, dude, I seriously like can barely hear anything out of my ears right now. They're like, no, you're good. Yeah, it's alright. Shut the fuck up, please.
Like, I don't understand how you can just shoot a firearm next to an employee and just think that that's okay, especially without telling them.
I need you to shoot it to find out. Just kidding. Legal wouldn't let me let him shoot it.
Okay, so now I think you're ready to learn about what really happened on Beast Games. Because what do you think is more likely? That hundreds of people are lying for clout, or that the guy who microwaves doesn't exactly have the best safety track record? You know, it's kind of crazy just looking back just how different things were. It's so easy in hindsight to act like you knew all of these things. Days before this show started, Mr. Beast released this video with all of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. Everyone was praising it. It was his biggest video ever. This is the guy. That's what we were all getting into when we were flying. We were all hyped. July 16th, I arrived in Vegas. They said I would receive an email with a voucher that I would use in order to get to my hotel. I never got that email. I had to call somebody and they told me, oh yeah, just buy the Uber, we'll pay it back eventually. And they had emailed me this QR code that I was supposed to use in order to get to my room. I scanned the QR code and it doesn't work. Luckily, they found my name in this database and they realized that I was actually supposed to be here. And so we would be directed to go to a secret room. And in the first room, they gave us this tracking device and they explained, oh yeah, we're gonna put this on your wrist. So just so you know, you can't leave your hotel room until the competition starts. They gave us our Beast Game shirts. I mean, this was like the first moment of confirmation, like, oh yeah, this is real. I didn't get kidnapped, you know, because before they would all be very vague. They'd be like, are you here for the event? And I'd be like, yes, I am here for the event.
As soon as we got to the hotel, you can see right away it's like, oh, this is gonna be a fucking mess. He was way in over his head, and no corrections were made early on. He just let it all happen as it was.
There were people that got flown in the morning of filming, and I talked to some of them. It was pretty chaotic. So anyway, I'm in the Luxor. They wanted us all to order room service so that we never had to leave our room.
Problem is, the room service did not work.
I later got an email saying there's an issue with room service. It's not working, so you're allowed to leave your hotel room, but only to get food. You can't leave for anything else. I get an email that says, hotel room service has been fixed. You are no longer allowed to leave your rooms for any reason. And then a few hours later, I get another email that says, actually, the room service is broken. And because of all that confusion, I basically took the safe route and said, you know what? I'm not taking that chance. I'm staying in my room from now on. But because of that, I pretty much didn't eat the whole day. Anyway, the day of the 18th finally arrived. I get an email saying, be downstairs at 8 in the morning. But they told us to wear the clothes that we're going to be wearing on the show. But because they wanted us to wear the Beast Game shirt, they basically provided trash bags for us. And, some people were saying, oh, I'm sure they weren't actual trash bags. They were like ponchos or something. They were actual trash bags, and I have video proof.
I had to cut a hole for my head. I tried to cut 2 for this arm, but it didn't work. So I had to tie them. I have no idea how they wanted me to do this. Am I supposed to do this?
Let me tell you how weird it was walking around a Las Vegas hotel with onlookers judging you for it. I go downstairs, and then suddenly we are all in this group of like 750 people. We're in this like very secluded part of the hotel, but every once in a while, someone would pass through and they'd see hundreds of people wearing trash bags. And I just remember this one person coming up and asking, like, are you guys in a cult? It's the middle of July. It's Las Vegas. The black trash bags made the heat unbearable.
For 20, 30 minutes, we were outside in the garbage bags, and it was about 110 that day.
Like, it was hot without the black trash bags, but it was significantly hotter with the black trash bags. I couldn't order food to the hotel room. In this hotel room, I had to conserve the water bottles that I had already had with me. I bought 2 big water bottles on the plane, and that was the only water that I was drinking for the next 2 days. I was actually like planning like my rations. Like, imagine like a water bottle like this, right? I was like, okay, for 1 hour I can drink this. For the next hour I can drink this. I was just like, all right, I gotta make it to 8 a.m. When I get downstairs, they'll provide me water. When you're excited, a lot of times you don't get a lot of sleep. I woke up at midnight. Just keep that in mind when I talk about everything that happens later. So anyway, we're leaving. We get driven to the Rio Hotel. We were there to get a quick snack. So we see these styrofoam containers containing food. Turns out that we are not allowed to get any of those. Those are strictly for the employees. And we couldn't say a word. We had to be silent. They said, if you say a word, you will be eliminated. Okay, for 30 minutes, you could hear a pin drop. And then eventually, people started whispering. I remember this one guy at our table, he was in like a different room, and apparently that room was able to get food, and so he just felt bad about eating his food around us. So keep in mind that we were at the Luxor at 8 in the morning. At this point, it's 2 p.m., 6 hours have passed, and we have been pretty much sitting down doing nothing and just waiting. And then finally, it is time, and we're actually going to get driven to the stadium. Then on the line to go on this bus, somebody stops me and is like, oh yeah, you can't bring your glasses case. And so they walk me over to this giant line for like medical stuff. And I legitimately threw away my glasses case because I thought that was more preferable standing in that line. And then we get on the bus, we arrive. Finally, we get to take off our trash bags. The heat suddenly got 20% more bearable at that point. We walk throughout the stadium, we get assigned seating, and we get told that we're gonna have our second meal of the day. This meal is the blandest tasting oatmeal I've ever had in my life, a few vegetables, and a flavorless hard-boiled egg. At some point, certain people got preferable treatment by production. They were instructed to go to this other room, and they were given these red wristbands. And what I'd found out is that these people had mics equipped onto them, and they were the only people who had mics equipped onto them. So basically, if you weren't one of these lucky special contestants, you wanted screen time? Tough luck. The people we've pre-chosen, they're the ones getting the screen time.
40 contestants are mic'd up out of the 2,000.
I don't want special treatment. That's not what Mr. Beast is about. Also, keep in mind that we all flew to Vegas under the impression that we were gonna be on Amazon, not YouTube. And not only were half of us not even gonna make it to the Amazon show, we weren't gonna get any screen time at all because they'd already pre-chosen the people who would have microphones on them. And I just remember they had us sitting there, and then you'll be taken when we're ready to the stadium when the games begin. I am not joking when I tell you we were sitting there for 8 hours, nobody telling us anything that was going on. During these 8 hours, after, well, let me remind you, 6 hours of sitting down doing nothing prior to this. So do the math. I just remember some people being like, is this part of the challenge? Are they testing us? Every single person that I talked to about this experience was basically shitting on it. Everyone that I talked to thought that it was a mess, was complaining about the conditions we were being treated in. And if anyone's there and they try to act like it was all happy, they're lying to you. Like, I forgot to mention, there was one psychiatrist for the entire group. It was never a requirement for anyone to see this person. I had no idea how to even find this person, even if I wanted to. I received multiple emails stating that there were going to be psychological and physical evaluations. As you could probably tell, there were no psychological evaluations.
By the way, their medical screening was crazy. It was a 2-minute phone call. Everything was totally half-assed. And Jimmy saw on that night, when that first seizure happened, how bad it was getting.
We were literally going hours without hearing anything. And eventually I just decided, you know what? I am really tired. I'm just gonna sleep on the floor. And I wasn't the only one either, okay? I decided to sleep on the floor because there were like 3 or 4 other people in my section alone who decided to do the same thing. And I thought that was a smart thing to do, you know? Be well rested. For the next few hours, I just tried falling in and out of sleep. Didn't work. I got maybe 20 minutes of rest. Too much noise around me. I literally would just keep watching this clock. Damn, it's like 10 p.m. It's 10:30 p.m. and we still haven't started. I talked to a lot of people that wanted to quit. They were just so done with everything and they just couldn't believe that this was how we were being treated. But then eventually it was time. And so we're finally ready. But before we can go, they say, oh, no water bottles. If you have a water bottle with you, you will be eliminated. But why can't we have water bottles? What is so horrible about us having water bottles on that stadium? Are you afraid that it's gonna ruin the shot? You can't deprive people of water. And yeah, eventually we did get it, but there was a whole period for about 3 hours where we didn't have any access to water. But anyway, we were feet away from the stadium. Meanwhile, there are a bunch of cameras and they're filming these hype shots. They want to see the crowd jump in. They ask the crowd to chant, beast, 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 beast. Beast, 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 beast. And I thought back to, you know, when that girl jokingly said, oh, we're in a cult. I kid you not, it felt like we were in a cult. I'm just thinking, okay, like, the videos are cool, but this is like a little crazy, you know? Like, I'm not worshiping this dude.
So after a while, I realized, like, wow, these people will do what I tell them to do. So then I gave you guys a different challenge. I want you guys to go into a really public area, and I want you to scream, Mr. Beast! As loud as you can.
Mr. Beast! Mr. Beast! Shut up! Mr. Beast!
And it wasn't until recently that I realized I can tell you guys what to do, and dozens, potentially even hundreds of you would do it.
So we were there for maybe 15, 30 minutes. I have no idea. It felt like forever of just us chanting over and over again, multiple takes for the camera. And then just when we thought we were done, another camera guy would come over and they'd ask us to do the chants again, like beast, beast, say beast 3 times, beast, beast, beast. And it was scary. It was scary being in that crowd. And then eventually it's time to walk onto the stadium. And you know, we start running, we start looking at the sets and everybody's cheering, everybody's going around. And then we see Mr. Beast is standing on the top of this pedestal with his friends. Chandler's there, Mac is there, Carl is there. And then he films his YouTube intro. Literally, the second he stops talking, they start handing us Feastables bars.
We were so hungry. The Feastables would come out, and so would extra cameramen. And we were ravenous because we were starved. And I'm sure that's going to look amazing on camera. Feastables comes out, and everyone's going nuts because they just love Feastables. No, we were starved.
And you know, I grabbed my chocolate bar, but you want to know what flavor I got? Dark chocolate sea salt. And I don't know if you remember, but we had no water. We had no water, and this dude was giving us sea salt chocolate. Sea salt. You know, the thing that makes you thirsty? I barely had any food the entire day. I was hungry. I was devouring that. I had cameras in my face watching me eat this Feastable bar. And the more I ate, the thirstier I got. So I just wanted this challenge to hurry up so that I could finally get water. Like, it'd be funny if it weren't so sad.
It took around 3 hours after revealing this first game before the thing actually kicked off.
Timing on this is absolutely crazy. My brain is so fried, it doesn't feel like 3:42 a.m. Yeah.
Because of the sudden decision change today to switch from day filming to night filming.
So I prefer to film at night.
So you're telling me that all of those hours we spent waiting, not knowing what was going on, that was all because Jimmy decided,
on that day, you know what? I just like nighttime shots a bit better. And because he did that, we didn't get to sleep.
Really didn't think this through. But anyway, we walk onto the stadium and we see giant boulders that say 10,000 pounds on them, and there are 5 of them. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. It's a strength-based competition. The people casting the show had sent multiple messages being like, look, we're looking for more women. You know, we want women to compete because the Mr. Beast fan base is a bunch of young men.
Did you just assume our gender? Yes, I bet you have a penis. Let's be real, none of you are girls. If you're not a man, then you're probably like one of the 2 females watching. And if you don't have a penis, then no one cares about you.
So clearly the diversity demos weren't all there. We formed 5 different lines behind the different boulders, and then they start telling us, all right, girls in the back, boys in the front. They just decided to give all the jerseys to the very front of these young athletic men. If you were a woman, if you were elderly, if you were overweight, they would just simply refuse. Everyone was rushing to try to get a jersey for one of the good teams. You have these few choke points for everybody to collect your jersey, and everybody's just rushing through them. And it's just like, if anybody thought about that for like more than a few seconds, they'd think, okay, clearly this is like a safety hazard, right? And so people did get trampled.
On the first game, which was like a tug-of-war type game, I saw a lady get trampled by about 30 people accidentally because, you know, things were happening so fast.
During that first game, I got trampled. Every line had a group of people at the back that were just getting trampled, and I watched a woman get knocked out cold.
In one event, people raced to pick up jerseys of different colors to select their teams. Sally said she spoke with a girl punched in the stomach for their jersey. Another person she spoke with was trampled and had to be pushed in a wheelchair afterward.
They started throwing jerseys, and this led to me in a mosh pit getting squished. We were trying to keep each other from falling as we were getting squished. This was honestly so scary for me, and I know they won't show this. I blame the production and Mr. Beast for standing in front of us, encouraging the mosh pits and people fighting over jerseys.
And it ain't no mosh pit if ain't no injuries.
But anyway, I run as fast as I can, trying to get this jersey. They're all out, so I run to the next group, and it's all out. It's just the red team, and it's just clear that it's all the rejects, all the physically weaker contestants, all the women, all the elderly, all the people that nobody wanted. The red team was like 90% women. 90%. Think about that. Remember the Squid Game video? Remember how they had tug of war and he had to offer people $4,000 to just leave? And it was mostly all women who left because they knew that they were not winning that challenge.
And if you leave in the next 5 minutes, I'll give you $4,000. Let's weed out some of the weak people. No, $4,000. Just smack your shit. Thank you.
Some executives admitted to me that the lack of food was purposeful to weed out the weak.
You think he would have learned from that to make it more equitable. But you know what? I saw strength and I saw determination from that red team that I've never seen before. We had the odds stacked against. We had the greatest comeback story ever. All we had to do is not get last place. And then we line up in our teams. They start counting everyone in each line to make sure there's exactly 400. And Mr. Beast was like, that's weird. The red team has 399 people. Wow, we need an extra person. Carl, you should join this team.
Carl was actively sabotaging the team. Every other team had the strategy of, we're just gonna grab the rope and pull it as far back as we can and run. And everyone was suggesting that should be our strategy. But Carl insisted that we go 1, 2, pull. And I can attest that this happened because I remember our team was originally going to do 1, 2, pull. And then the guard literally says to me, no, you shouldn't do 1, 2, pull. You should do 1, 2, 3, pull. And I just remember that being so weird because, like, doesn't that mean we're pulling the rope less?
And then we're just standing there waiting to pull this thing. We want to sit down. And then it was like, all right, we're not filming. You can have water at this very specific allotted time. And then once that was done, we were allowed to start the challenge. So the time starts and I'm not even looking. I couldn't look. I just focused on the rope. 5 seconds pass and every other team is at the top. And we barely even reached a quarter. And the crazy thing is that they told us to not let go of the rope and to keep holding it after we were done, just so that they could keep it for the shots. Even just watching the video, knowing how much they beat us by, clearly something was wrong. I was in the middle of this line. I remember the women next to me saying we were doing so well, but then all of a sudden we just stopped pulling. We suddenly sunk into last place and we lost.
And so I just remember thinking, okay, that was weird. And so then I just start talking to like the women behind me, and I start asking like, why did we stop pulling? What happened? And she says to me, the rope went around somebody's neck, and so we stopped. What? Like the rope tied around their neck. We lost the challenge because we didn't want to suffocate one of our members.
I heard people talking about someone getting choked.
And I saw the bruises on her neck. The rope kind of accidentally wrapped around her neck.
Ooh.
And it was attached to 10,000 pounds. And it was just dangerous. It was very dangerous.
And I saw it in an article where they had talked about the rope being around somebody's neck. It did happen.
Have yet to hear the rope around the neck. That's a new one. And that's like the red team in the very beginning. That's which challenge was that? First challenge.
First challenge.
I witnessed a rope literally wrapped around a young woman's neck, choking her out on the red team. Multiple people being trampled on their heads and chests. We ended up losing because the people at the end of the rope had fallen down and the rope was choking them.
And God forbid, if anything were to happen, how could I live with myself knowing that I was pulling on the rope that was choking somebody's neck? How am I supposed to feel about that? That here we were trying to pull this rope as hard as we can to win this challenge, and it's tied around somebody's neck in the back. And not once did they stop the challenge or try to make things right. We were just eliminated. We'd lost the challenge.
And during the challenge, Sally witnessed medics congregate in the area. She found out afterward that a girl had gotten knocked down with the rope tangled around her neck. And that's basically the experience that I had. This is the part that fucking boils my blood. Somebody had to say something about this. Production was yelling at the people that were behind them to just keep pulling on the rope, said Emily, who saw multiple people get tangled up in the rope. Contestants stopped, thankfully, and went to help the people get untangled.
Production told us we had to keep going and they weren't going to stop the challenge. Well, that led to us stop pulling and start helping those who were hurt.
Many people on the red team weren't pulling the boulder because they were preoccupied with saving somebody's life, and not once did the producers think, let us refilm the challenge after we sort this issue out. They just kept the cameras rolling. Like, that's insanity. Like, what the fuck?
This incident led to 6 other contestants to leave who had won. They saw and heard what happened and said that their dignity was worth more.
I've seen this claim from at least 10 different independent sources. Like, it is undeniable. This happened. And I get that this is so insane that a lot of people can't even comprehend how this is even possible. So I'm going to explain it. So as much as Jimmy tries to hide everything in the footage, this moment of people trampled on top of each other managed to slip in the final cut of the video. And this is the orange team. What we're talking about happened on the red team. Now, look closely and you can see that the back of the rope is actually over here. What this creates is a loop. Here's an aerial shot you can see in the video. Look at the red team, and you can see a crowd of people right at this choke point. So at the very back here, a girl fell, and the rope was already looped around. So it doesn't take a stretch of the imagination to see how the rope got tied around her neck. And it's not even just the girl who got the rope tied around her neck. This is just the worst example of this occurring. There were people who got stepped on, and a bunch of other people fell over and got trampled as well. Now, knowing this information, let's listen to what Jimmy says in that lovely little Oompaville interview.
Which is like crazy to think that I'd be like, 10 people broke their bones? Let's keep filming. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
He is a fucking liar, and I'm just disgusted by him. And that's why, like, when I was watching the interview that you did with him, he was talking about, like, do you think we'd really keep filming? And I was like, wait, but what about with the rope situation? It's something that's been on my mind ever since Vegas. And it's just something I want answers for.
Yeah, that's insane.
You know, we did mess up on little things.
This final challenge is so vicious, so brutal, so savage, that our lawyer said we had to change it.
Oh, so you made it less dangerous?
No, but we told them we did. High five. People gonna die. Yeah. Those people.
Yeah, I can attest to the fact that we were pulling, then all of a sudden, it stopped. It was weird. It went from this
this pulling motion to everyone was just kind of stuck, clueless, not really knowing what they're doing. The momentum suddenly stopping. It wasn't natural. And the people in the front of the line had no communication with the back of the line and didn't know what was going on. And as we're standing in this line, I start crying. I was bawling my eyes out because at this point, I had been awake for over 24 hours. I had been so late that the sun was about to rise. I was crying because I was barely fed. I was crying because for hours I didn't have access to water. Crying because I was told that the rope was being pulled around somebody's neck. And as I cried, bawled my eyes out, I start seeing a camera walk down the line and start to slowly approach me. And then I see Mac, one of the new members of the Mr. Beast crew. Mac comes up to me and he says, "Why are you crying?" I was just flustered. I was so emotional. I didn't know what to say. And I truly, at this point, was still grateful just for the experience and sad to go out the way that I did. I responded by saying, "I just wanted this so bad." And then Mac starts like putting his hands on me, starts trying to cheer me up. He says to me, "You gotta come back for season 2. You gotta come back for season 2. And he hugs me.
Gio, don't cry yet. It's not over.
Yeah, that was basically me. And you know, I have a feeling that they planned this. They wanted those juicy shots of contestants crying.
Can you cry so it's like an emotional video? Can you like react for the video? All right, come on. Give me a good reaction, dude.
Oh my God!
Yeah, thank you.
They made us restless and impatient so that we would cry under the pressure. And even though I looked like an emotional mess being exploited for this video, isn't that what I signed up for? The second challenge apparently was people picking cases. I heard that some people got trampled. I heard that people had to go to the hospital. Apparently people got seizures because they were unable to get access to their medication.
A lot of people their medication was delayed. I've heard that a lot.
You had to have been there, right? The vibe was very much like, oh, I'm just not getting it. It was like kind of like an unspoken thing. Like if I were to ask for this right now, I can just tell with the way this production's going that like I'm probably not gonna get it. And based on what people are saying, it turns out that was the case.
You can't necessarily play with people's medicines.
A girl that I got really close to at the game, she has medical issues. She asked for her medication multiple times. They kept giving her attitude, as in like, why are you asking for this?
I literally saw a girl fall so hard, she hit the ground and ricocheted off of the ground and hit the ground again.
I witnessed 2 seizures, a sprained ankle. Staff and medical did nothing to help her, leaving her for hours crying.
I was one of the players that got a table slammed on my head. Some people got head bumps. I know one girl got a head concussion.
NBC News spoke to 5 other former contestants who asked to remain anonymous because they feared retaliation. More than a dozen unnamed participants told them that they had not received adequate food or medical care, and that some competitors had suffered injuries from the physical challenges.
A guy got a seizure behind us, and people are yelling for medical attention. No one arrived, bro. 3 contestants are the ones that helped the player. It took players to help players versus a medical team or medical staff to come through.
I did indeed witness one of the seizures. I witnessed the first one that happened, and it was quite terrifying. I've seen seizures before, but this guy looked like he was losing oxygen. His face was turning blue. He was an adult male. The guy's sweating and shaking and discolored. There were indeed many hospitalizations, and anyone who doubts that, Casino.com actually did an article about that where they went and interviewed hospital staff.
I saw 2 people have seizures. I saw 1 grand mal seizure. It was very dangerous. Yeah. I'm very, very, very shocked no one died.
Apparently people were unable to change their pads. I wasn't there that long, but I knew people who were, and trust me, those stories are true. Also, after the first challenge, contestants only got to sleep for a few hours because production woke them up and people were literally fighting over food and there wasn't enough to go around.
It was probably closer to like 150 to 200 calories per meal. I shit you not.
These people were starving and the majority of the nutrition they were getting was Feastables chocolate. Truly amazing.
She says, hey, I'm vegan, I can't eat this. And she was told, it's part of the game. That's all you get.
So anyway, after being eliminated, I shook Mr. Beast's hand. I hugged him. Regardless of how much of a shit show this thing was, these are memories that are going to stick with me for a lifetime. Anyway, they gave us all $1,000 and they had me hold on to this fake money. And then as soon as the cameras were off, I had to immediately return it.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise everyone. Gave them each $2,000, $4 million, which It's a lot of money. I could have gone and just bought a mansion instead of doing that.
Guys, I can't believe it. Mr. Beast is so nice. He surprised us all by actually paying us because he's such a generous man.
I'm not saying this to make myself look good, but I've just always been a really nice guy. I just have.
All right, so here's the truth. Everyone in Vegas received $1,000. It wasn't until much later when the allegations started spreading online that the producers decided to hit us up and give us an additional $1,000 because of all the stuff that we went through. If the $2,000 was always part of the plan, he would have told us that in Vegas and he would have had it on camera, but he didn't.
Unfortunately for Jimmy, he forgot to edit out the black boxes that clearly say $500,000 instead of the $800,000 that flashes on screen.
After like that claim came out, like we literally called 1,950 contestants.
Yes, and we were told that we got the additional $1,000 on that phone call. And this was days after I'd already gotten home. It was because of the bad publicity.
You wait until everything's over and then you're like, sorry for the trouble, guys. Here's $1,000. Come the fuck on, bro.
We gave everyone who showed up. You could literally show up and then a second later leave and receive $2,000.
For 4 days you were in Vegas, like waiting.
Yeah, I think he said in your interview, oh, you know, I gave people $2,000, even if they were there, they could have walked in and walked out. And it's like, I just don't agree with the way that he framed it because like people were taking time off of their jobs for this. I was there for 4 days and I was eliminated in the first challenge. Like it wasn't just, oh, I walked in and I walked out.
I had to fly on the morning of the 16th and I didn't get to leave until 10 p.m. on the 19th.
And then we had to stand in this line to get our flights and to sign paperwork in order to receive our $1,000. And at this point, it was nearly 5 in the morning. I just wanted to leave. I just wanted to go to sleep. So I signed the paperwork and I start talking to this lady who's gonna organize my flight information. She explains, don't worry, I got a flight for you. And I was like, okay, where do I go to receive my flight confirmation? And she's like, don't worry, we'll email it to you. Because, you know, I didn't have like a phone or anything. Spoiler alert, I never got the flight confirmation. We'll get to that. Also, they made us stand in this extremely long line to get our 5-day supply of medication. I'm seeing people report that they had no access to their medication.
One girl in our group, she did need her epilepsy medication and she did not get it. She had a hard time fighting for it. We had finally gotten access to food after about 10 hours and I witnessed a male just collapse right in front of me and he was convulsing.
I went to every human I could find and I asked for food. No one helped me at all. I ended up leaving because I didn't have enough food.
Medics responding to a contestant who appeared to pass out, with some even leaving the competition arena on stretchers.
No. I get back to my hotel room. I have to get my luggage and my underwear. Well, my underwear was not ready, so I had to wait till the following morning to get that. But now is the time to receive my luggage back. Then I found my suitcase, but not my purse. The problem is that the purse contained my phone, it contained my passport, and it contained my wallet. Without this purse, I had no communication. I had no way of getting on a flight without my passport, and I had no way of paying for anything without my wallet. I was panicking, and I was screwed. I had to talk to multiple employees, and they just told me to look through these giant rooms with over 2,000 people's luggage, all just in piles somewhere.
This is all of the contestant stuff, and I pray that all of you guys get your stuff. I pray.
I looked everywhere. I had searched every room at least 3 times. Nothing. I had asked multiple production members, search the rooms multiple times. They could not find anything. I had called my mom panicking, and she had considered booking a flight to Vegas to ensure that everything was okay and that I had a way home. It took 90 minutes of constant looking just to find this purse. And when we finally found it, it was 3 layers deep in this giant pile of people's luggage. It was a miracle that we found this thing, and I was so grateful that we did, because if we didn't, it would have been bad. And finally, I get my hotel room. I had woken up at midnight the previous day, so if you're counting, I've been casually awake for 27 hours. I was very irritable. I was not in a good mood. I finally got the hotel room, and I was ready to go to bed. And then I realized the hotel that they provided me for, I had to check out by 9 a.m. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and they wanted me to leave my hotel room at 9 a.m. Let me remind you that at this point I had been awake for 27 hours. The flight that they had booked me for, which keep in mind, I didn't know any information about until I emailed these people multiple times. And even after I'd emailed them about the information, they still gave me no way to access my tickets. And I was irritable because I could barely keep my fucking eyes open. And I'd asked them for another night at the hotel, and they said that they were full and that there was nothing they could do. Thank God for my mother. Called that hotel and jumped through so many hoops, went to so many websites, called so many people to beg them to let me stay in the same room for one more day so that I could have some fucking sleep. It was honestly, truly a miracle. They were fully booked, but my mom, I don't know how she did it, what she had to do to even get that. She managed to get me another night at this hotel so that I could actually sleep and not be kicked out an hour and a half after trying to. And I had to go walk to the lobby physically to get the extra night. And I was so tired that even doing that was a struggle. But I did it. And then I wake up the next morning, should I say the afternoon, and then almost immediately I check out of the hotel, get on a flight home. After all of these experiences started making waves on the internet and Mr. Beast was getting criticized, I got a call from an unknown number in North Carolina. It was like this weird tone of voice. And I started talking, I started telling them everything. They're like, okay, yeah, right. Don't worry, we're firing everybody and we're gonna hire a better, newer team for Toronto so that everything is run better there. And it's like, oh great. Well, I'm glad they're gonna fix things for when I'm not there. And I hope to God that I don't receive any more phone calls from unknown numbers from Greenville, North Carolina.
And I want you to really think about that before you decide to post that video. I want you to think about everything that will happen after that.
Like what? I saw reports of this guy who was a criminal being in the cast. Apparently he was harassing people and got kicked off. I should be allowed to say what happened. People deserve to know. I shouldn't be afraid to make this video. If you want this company to continue succeeding, there's a lot that you need to do to fix things. And I fully believe that I cannot be at peace with myself until the truth is fully out there. But Jimmy, you thought this video was over? I know you're fucking watching me right now. If you want to smear me, you want to talk about my past, let's talk about your past. Because you don't exactly have a squeaky clean image, and most people don't know about the truth about the start of your YouTube career.
And he did say that he enjoys the Catch Me Outside girl and thinks she's funny, so...
Let's be real, you want to put your dick in her?
She's like 14 years old, she probably has AIDS already.
I don't think she's 14. They're too big to be 14. That's
she seems older than that.
I think it's so funny that everyone dismissed it. Like, guys, the other guy in the video said it was fine and not a big deal. So, Mr. Beast is innocent. Right. Because, let me think about this for a second. The other guy saying this awful shit has an incentive to, make it not seem as awful.
When being edgy was a content strategy, cringe in hindsight, but those were the times.
I mean, come on, guys. Use your brain. Think about it.
Pornhub gets 30 million searches a month? That's a lot of horny little kids. Let's look at your folders. Okay, please explain that. You're just like, oh, I'm so glad he changed the topic. Videos, do you have any? No. No. What the freak is all this?
You're almost
Uncle
that's all for clickbait. All of it's clickbait.
Downloads.
All right, mate. That's enough. Get on my computer.
The first manager that ever worked there, his name was Dan. Everyone was consistently making these jokes wildly inappropriate about his 5-year-old kid.
Ew.
And so, dude, I know, gonna go home and fuck insert name.
What?
The craziest thing.
Who was saying that?
I know. Well, Ava, Jimmy, it was the thing. They would make these crazy jokes, and one day we were filming the video playing Fortnite in the middle of the ocean, and one too many jokes got said, and bro flipped. Understandably, he couldn't take it anymore. There's this fostered environment with Lolly that they all think is so funny.
He had this guy, Dan, nice guy, family man. They were making pedophile jokes about wanting to fuck his son so hard that he left.
And it's so crazy, especially when people are like, yeah, he had no idea about Chris's whatever. It's bro, that was a funny joke to them. They definitely knew about the Lolly. That was so funny. funny to them. They're like, yeah, look at the Lolly Discord. Did you check the Lolly Discord?
Oh,
it's like,
shit.
Bro, I had worked there for like 2 weeks when they were like, yo, you mess with Lolly, bro? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Oh, Turner, yo, new kid. You ever heard of Lolly? Look.
Probably because it's in CP.
Child?
No, Club Penguin, you f***ing weirdo.
I was excited to visit. Hey, Jimmy, the police are here and it looks really serious.
Crap, I need to destroy the evidence. Let's get rid of the hentai. Oh, God. Where's the hard drive?
If you feel your orgasm coming on, stop and squeeze right below the head of your penis. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I just remembered. Most of you are 12-year-old kids. Okay, we'll move on. Please don't tell your mom. Selling N-word for $400 money? The most I would pay is like $300. Sorry, $400 is just out of my price range for that type of stuff. QQ, shut the fuck up, you stupid faggot. This isn't him so much as replying like a retard, so much as it is him just being a douchebag to people. Know what? That was a little bit uncalled for, faggot. This is gonna go public after I die, so it's like the joke is, you know, I'll be in heaven talking to Hitler. That's gonna be funny. Racism is a crime, and crime is for black people, so we're good. I'm kidding. Hello, faggots. Hello, faggots. I do a lot of investing in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum. There was a point where everything I had was in it.
The first few videos I started doing for Mr. Beast, I introduced to them an AI tool where I was able to replicate Jimmy's voice. I could type in a text and have Jimmy say whatever I wanted.
Despite not finding anyone, Airrack got lucky.
I didn't give him that line of script and it was too late.
You're not gonna think, 6 minutes in, oh, I wonder if that was AI Jimmy.
This was December 18th, 2021.
Yeah, you don't know that exists.
So that's why I think I got away with it.
Yeah.
He recorded voiceover and he said a blatant lie. The voiceover says, I found Logan Paul literally 1 minute before Zach King. Logan Paul was found hours before Zach King.
It wasn't until the script was finalized that he finally went into the recording booth. I gave him that script. He went into the recording booth.
If you are not going to edit a sequence chronologically, it is a good idea not to place a giant clock in the middle of your set. In this sequence, we see the clock going from 16 minutes magically back to 29 minutes.
Also, I hate how the show just acts like the people who don't ask for money are the ones with the most integrity.
The one who stayed off the phones and out of the drama because she stayed true to herself throughout her entire journey at Beast Games.
Yeah, well, that's easy for Courtney. She runs a creative agency that has worked with literal celebrities. Most people do not run creative agencies that have worked with celebrities. She would have been just fine whether she won the money or not. I also recently had the top comment on Jimmy's interview with Colin and Samir, and then I refreshed the page and the number of comments on the video suspiciously went down. So I opened the video in a private tab, and what do you know, my comment is nowhere to be seen. I've even heard from multiple sources at the company that Mr. Beast will throw away people's food if they bring junk food.
A lot of times, I can't get out of going to a fast food restaurant, so I'll bring my own food, and I'll be sitting at McDonald's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm on a really, really strict diet. The only thing I drink is water, and I eat the same thing every day. If that's what makes me feel normal, then I'll do it for the rest of my life.
Which is really weird, because you have to wonder, why then is this guy selling junk food like Lunchly, Feastables, or the Zaxby's combo meal? Insane amount of calories, by the way. When it's like, he can't even eat the food himself. Why is it then that he has one standard for himself and another standard for all the children who watch his content?
Hyper-processed foods and sugars, again, these are also no-goes. Across the board, whether they have Crohn's or not, is something you should avoid.
A contestant even came forward claiming that some people got injured during the trap doors because there wasn't enough foam in some of the pits, and they needed medical attention. There's also several challenges with instances of misogyny.
Right now, your decision is going to result in all three of us leaving. You're negotiating your demise.
So it seemed like Jeremy picked men. So Jeremy lied to you?
And when all of this happens in the show, they very cleverly frame it in a way that they want you to get mad at the contestants instead of questioning the massive corporation putting people through the literal Squid Game. Also, I'm seeing some contestants be very skeptical of the timer challenge.
I don't think that 6 people drop their balls within milliseconds of the 10-minute timer. Wouldn't they have like amazing super slow-mo footage of 6 people just dropping their balls? Maybe I'll have that thought.
2 of the 6 people that won the challenge were 895 and 907. They were standing right next to each other.
As always, we've analyzed every ball drop in this game down to the millisecond.
So in this shot, we can clearly see 895 drops the ball and 907 does not. And you can see the guy next to her who supposedly dropped his ball within 1/10 of a second of her did not do so. Yet the show is saying that they dropped it within 1/10 of a second of each other. As the footage shows, this clearly did not happen. Look, I know that I've gone over a lot of very serious allegations in this video, but to end it off, I wanted to keep it nice and lighthearted. I wanted to say, Happy Valentine's Day, Jimmy, and congratulations to you and Tia. I'm looking forward to all of the amazing charitable acts that you'll accomplish together, like stopping white genocide. Oh, oof, that's a little uncomfortable, huh?
Everyone has to work with Aiden, but everyone outside person is like, oh, you're so lucky to work with someone that nice. It's not emotion, it's not care, it's not empathy. It's calculation, and it's manipulation, and it's deceptive. Jimmy has a goal, and anything that gets in the way of that goal, he has disdain for. What's that? You want to go home at 5 o'clock? I hate you. What's that? You want to get a union involved and slow down my production? Why do you think he's the biggest, most fastest growing? Because things that stop normal people who care about stuff don't stop him, because Jimmy just cares about one thing, and it's why everyone's getting hurt.
I just wish everyone knew what I knew.
I made it to the bunker. I just have one question. Where's Dogpack?